The soft creak of ancient wood echoes through the dark hallway. That room at the end of the corridor has been sealed for decades in Hiroshima. No one must open it. No one must even touch the door. Grandma lives there, the neighborhood elders used to say. But Grandma died in the atomic flash of 1945. So, what's breathing on the other side of the wall? Misato Tanaka never believed the stories about her grandfather's house in Hiroshima. At 28, the young photographer documented urban scars around the world, but never had the courage to return to the city where her family was torn apart by history. The inheritance came without warning. A traditional Japanese house in a forgotten neighborhood, preserved like a relic of the past. The taxi dropped her off in front of a rusted gate. The street felt frozen in time, as if this corner of Hiroshima had been overlooked by the city's reconstruction. Old wooden houses, some abandoned, others occupied by elderly residents with wary eyes peering through faded curtains. The keys are with Yamada-san, the neighbor, the lawyer said over the phone. She's been looking after the property all these years. The stooped old woman handed Misato the key ring with trembling hands. Don't open the sealed room, she whispered urgently, gripping Misato's wrist with surprising strength. Your grandmother has lived there since the day of the light. Inside, the house carried a peculiar scent, ancient incense mixed with something Misato couldn't place. The yellowed washi paper walls filtered light, casting restless shadows. Dusty photographs revealed ancestors she'd never known. At the end of a narrow hallway, one door stood out, sealed with faded protective talismans and crisscrossed red ribbons. That first night, Misato woke with a start. A soft sound came from the hallway, like something heavy being dragged across the wooden floor. Then came a melodic whisper, an old lullaby. At breakfast, Yamada appeared with a small bundle. Offerings, she explained, placing traditional sweets on a tray. Your grandmother likes these. They must be left by the door every morning. My grandmother died in 1945, Misato said flatly. The old woman's eyes darkened. Some who were too close to the epicenter didn't die completely. The radiation changed something in them. Your grandmother began to transform. Your grandfather sealed her in that room to protect everyone. She's still there, waiting. Misato forced a smile, but a chill slithered down her spine. That afternoon, while photographing the house, she noticed disturbing details. Deep scratches in the floorboards near the sealed room. Dark stains seeping from under the door. Most unsettling, when sunlight hit at a certain angle, she could see the silhouette of someone standing behind the paper door. That night, Misato found a diary hidden in a secret drawer. Her grandfather's final entries described horrors. Akiko didn't die like the others. The light changed her. Her skin, it's not skin anymore. Her eyes see something beyond this world. She calls our children into the room. I had to seal the door. The monk said she must stay contained. What lives inside her now isn't my wife. Misato's sleep was broken by an icy touch on her cheek. Opening her eyes, she saw a wet handprint on the mirror. Granddaughter, come visit me. The words appeared, scrawled on the fogged surface. The days in the ancestral house became a creeping nightmare for Misato. Shadows seemed to move independently of the objects casting them. The air grew icy near the sealed room, even on the hottest days. And the sounds, the chilling whispers, calling her name in the dead of night. Misa-chan, come see Grandma. Digging through old municipal records, Misato uncovered the truth. Her grandmother Akiko wasn't officially listed among the bomb's casualties. She was marked as missing. Old family photos showed an elegant woman with kind eyes. But in the final picture, taken weeks after the bombing, something had changed. Her eyes no longer looked human. Pupils dilated to swallow the irises, and a smile too forced, too wide. A local historian, Professor Takeda, who specialized in radiation effects, listened to her story with unsettling scientific curiosity. There are stories, not officially documented. People who survived the intense heat and radiation, but underwent changes beyond medical understanding at the time. Transformations that defied nature. Each morning, the offerings left by the sealed door vanished. Once, Misato set up a small camera aimed at the door. The footage showed only static for hours until the image shook violently. When it stabilized, the sweets were gone. On a rainy afternoon, Misato found a box of photographs in the attic. Among them were disturbing medical images like scientific documentation. A sequence showed progressive changes in a woman's body. Skin developing strange geometric patterns, fingers elongating unnaturally, eyes shifting shape. In the final photo, the humanoid figure was partially covered by a sheet. But what was visible no longer looked human. On the back, her grandfather's shaky handwriting. Day 27. Akiko asked to see the children today. I refused. She said she doesn't need the door to leave the room. That night, Misato woke to the sound of something scratching inside the house's walls. She followed the noise and found fresh marks on the ceiling, as if something had crawled across it. The marks formed a winding path from the sealed room to her bedroom door. The nightmare that followed was too vivid. Her grandmother, with elongated limbs and extra joints, scuttling across the ceiling like a spider, her partially human face hovering over Misato as she slept, whispering, "You have your father's eyes. I've missed his eyes so much." In the morning, Yamada-san arrived, visibly shaken. "You didn't leave the offerings yesterday," she accused. The night was restless. We all heard her. Heard what? Misato asked. Her walking the walls, the old woman replied. When she doesn't get what she needs, she searches. Professor Takeda brought classified documents from the era, American and Japanese military records about post-irradiation biological anomalies. Some survivors near the epicenter developed cellular changes that baffled science. The government hid these cases. Some were studied in military bases. Others, like your grandmother, were kept at home, cared for by families who didn't know what else to do. That night, during a storm that knocked out the neighborhood's power, Misato heard an old melody being hummed in the dark. Following the sound with only her phone's faint light, she reached the sealed room. The protective ribbons were intact, but a pool of dark, viscous liquid seeped from under the door. "Dear granddaughter," a gentle voice called from inside. "I'm so lonely here. I just want to meet my family. I just want to touch you like I did your father when he was little." Misato felt an inexplicable urge to tear the seals, to open the door. Her hands moved almost against her will. "That's it," the voice whispered. "Open it for Grandma." Her fingers brushed the first red ribbon when a lightning flash lit the hallway, revealing something that froze her heart. Every photograph on the walls had transformed, eyes deformed, smiles stretched beyond human limits, identical to the last photo of her grandmother. Morning brought a discovery that changed everything. In the dusty basement of the house, Misato found a series of old cassette tapes. Her grandfather's voice, meticulously documenting Akiko's transformation. Day 115 after exposure. The American doctor believes Akiko has developed a form of symbiosis with something brought by the bomb. It's not ordinary radiation. He used words like dimensional and rupture, says the nuclear flash may have opened something momentarily. With trembling hands, Misato played the final recording. The transformation is complete. What's left of Akiko is now entwined with it. There's a cycle, moments of lucidity where she's still my wife, followed by periods where another consciousness takes over. She needs to feed, not on food, but something else. Monk Hayashi says she absorbs life essence. She wants the children. Yesterday, I found her in our youngest son's room. I can't kill her, but I can't let this continue. I'll seal her. The monk prepared talismans. As long as they stay intact, she can't leave physically, but she finds other ways, dreams, reflections, shadows. A tremor shook the house, as if something stirred within the walls. Misato raced upstairs to find Yamada-san in the hallway. "Placing more offerings. The seal is weakening," the old woman whispered. "You must renew it, as your father did before he died, and your grandfather before him. It's the family's blood duty." "My father died in an accident when I was 2, Misato said. Yamada's face froze. "Accident? Is that what they told you?" She shook her head slowly. "Your father came back here to renew the seals, as he was meant to every 10 years. He couldn't resist her voice. A hidden album revealed the brutal truth. Her father, found in the sealed room. His body twisted in an impossible position, skin etched with the same geometric patterns from her grandmother's photos. His face frozen in an unnaturally wide smile. Night fell over Hiroshima, bringing a heavy silence. Misato sat before the sealed room, candles encircling her in flickering light. Monk Hayashi, now a centenarian, trembled as he prepared new talismans. "You cannot hesitate," the old monk instructed. "What's beyond the seal is no longer your grandmother. It's something that found our world through her, something that uses memories and emotions as anchors." The voice from behind the door turned pleading. "Misa-chan, I'm so lonely. Here, I miss the family. I miss feeling the sun. Why do they keep me trapped? I'm just an old grandmother who wants to meet her granddaughter." The monk applied his special ink to the new ribbons. "She'll offer something you deeply desire. Resisting will feel like tearing out a piece of your soul. I can show you what happened to your father," the voice whispered. "I can show you how his final moments were. Sweet. He's with me now, Misa-chan. They're all with me." As the new seal neared completion, an icy gust extinguished all the candles at once. In pitch darkness, Misato felt something brush her face. Long, cold fingers, far too many for a human hand. "I don't need the door opened," the voice whispered, now directly in her ear. "That's just a formality. We're family, Misa-chan, and family always finds a way to reunite." The monk lit a lantern, revealing Misato alone in the hallway. The new ribbons glowed brightly, the seal renewed. But something had changed in Misato. A subtle geometric pattern was forming under the skin of her wrist, exactly where she'd felt the touch. The monk saw it, and his eyes widened. "She touched you. Now a part of her is in you." "What does that mean?" Misato asked, panic rising in her voice. "It means the seal only holds her body," the old man replied. "But she's found a new vessel, like she did with your father." Weeks later, Misato returned to Tokyo, seemingly normal, resuming her life as a photographer. But something had shifted in her work. Critics noted an unsettling quality, shadows, that seemed alive, subtle geometric patterns hidden in the images, and the subject's eyes always captured with pupils unnaturally dilated. In her small apartment, Misato kept a locked room. "For storage," she explained casually to visitors. Inside, photographs covered the walls, images of people who'd vanished mysteriously after being photographed by her. At night, she sat before her mirror, watching the geometric patterns, now covering nearly half her body. And she smiled, a smile too wide, stretching beyond what was possible. "Soon, Grandma," she whispered to her reflection, which curiously showed not her face, but an old woman's with pitch-black eyes. "Soon we'll have a big family again." Hiroshima continues to rebuild, its past scars fading under modern concrete. In the forgotten street, the Tanaka ancestral home remains shuttered. Elderly neighbors uphold the tradition of leaving small offerings at the gate. For the family living there, they explain to curious youngsters. In Tokyo's contemporary art galleries, Misato Tanaka's disturbing photographs gain devoted admirers. There's something hypnotic about them, critics say. as if they capture something beyond visible reality. Gallery visitors often report strange dreams after viewing her work. Dreams of an old woman with elongated limbs inviting them to a special room. And in Tokyo, unexplained disappearances spike in the weeks following her exhibitions. As for Misato, she's rarely seen in public now, but her art keeps rising in popularity. Her photos capture extraordinary moments, critics say. They capture people's essence. They capture something more. And no one ever declines an invitation for a private photo session with the renowned artist. No one ever returns to tell how it went.